Hello and good morning. Joe Justice here, coming to you live on November 30th, 2022. It is Hump Day. I hope you're having a great week, and today is the end of November. So, starting tomorrow, we get into the holiday season. I know. A lot of people have already entered the holiday season, me included. We got our decorations and everything up over the weekend after Thanksgiving, but some people are still waiting for the right time, as it were, to get into the holiday season. So, starting tomorrow will be December 1st. That'll be exciting as we start to wind the year down and take a look at things that are coming in the future. Today, I wanted to talk about 5 cloud computing trends. Now, when I talk about these 5 trends, these aren't new. So I want to break these down a little bit because cloud computing, of course, has been around for quite a while. Just to kind of give you an idea of the history, cloud computing kind of started out in the early 2000s. Google really popularized the concept. The cloud was always represented in. Uh-oh, somebody is calling me. The cloud was always kind of represented as something in it, kind of the phone systems, the like Bell Atlantic and the Baby Bells. They would represent the cloud in a diagram, and that just basically meant the number was going out. Is kind of the concept behind that. So whenever it would go out, it would go to the cloud. So Google started providing services that kind of just went out to the internet, and they started referring to that as cloud services, as cloud computing. And of course, that has expanded mightily over the years. And nowadays, there's tons of things that have become cloud computing. First of all, when you think about cloud computing, we are talking about going out to other people's servers. So basically, you can kind of think of it as the computational storage and computational stuff being done out somewhere else on the internet. That's cloud computing. So there's been some trends. Some of them have been very common. Some of them are new, and they've been accelerating, of course, and will probably continue to accelerate. These are the 5 that I think are going to be kind of the most pertinent moving forward. Number one is the rise. Number one is the rise of cloud native applications. Cloud native applications are designed from the ground up to run in the cloud, and they are becoming increasingly popular as businesses look to take advantage of the benefits of cloud computing. Now, Google really popularized this with their Google Docs system, and the idea that you could use a web browser to run a spreadsheet or want to run a word processor. Now, this has become incredibly common. It all kind of started out with email, probably would be the first cloud native, what you might consider a cloud native application. There was once a time when you would, have an email client that would download all of your emails, and then people started switching over to the web version, which was you would log in to access your inbox and everything. Now, a lot of people just think of accessing your email online as email. But it used to be you'd have a client that would download it and you would keep all of the data on your computer. So things have changed there. But cloud native applications have become more and more common, whereas entire applications now run in the cloud and even entire computers. So virtualization really opened this stuff up. And then now with newer technologies like Docker, which can run an application in a single, well, they're not exactly virtual machines. They're Docker machines. They can run a whole application without needing an entire computer to be spun up. So there's lots of that stuff going on, and that's just going to continue. Now there's entire game consoles and systems that people run off of cloud computing. The growth of serverless computers, a new way of building cloud-based applications, is becoming increasingly popular due to scalability and cost effectiveness. Now that's definitely true. We're seeing less and less servers. It used to be really common to have giant server rooms with just stacks and stacks and stacks of servers, and that's becoming much less common. A lot of people it's just much more cost effective to basically what you're doing with cloud computing is you're renting other people's computers. So, and that's Amazon pioneered that with their Amazon Web Services. So basically, you had all these computers that were sitting around for Amazon, and Jeff Bezos said, "Hey, maybe there's something we can do with all these extra computers sitting around," and just started renting out the storage space and the computational space, and that's where we're at today. There's the rise of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is becoming increasingly important in the world of cloud computing as businesses look to use AI to automate tasks and improve efficiency. AI is going nowhere. And when we talk about AI, we're talking about the deep learning, machine learning, artificial neural networks. The thing is, those are trained off of data, and the data has to be stored in huge storage facilities. So you're talking about petabytes and petabytes and petabytes of data that's used to train these machines. And they train continuously, so they get updated by user feedback. Realistically, the only way to keep those machines operating, the AI machines, is as an artificial intelligence in the cloud, because they would, they're not programmed. There's not a version control on them. They're trained by data. So what you're looking at is a continually updating system, and the only way to do that is through cloud hosting. There's the growth of edge computing, and edge computing is a new type of computing that's designed to bring the power of clouds closer to the devices that are using them. Now, edge computing, so when we think of cloud computing, we think of your computer or device going all the way out to a data center. That data center, sends the data out to the data center. The data center does some kind of an operation on it and then sends new data back. But with edge computing, we're seeing the cloud even more decentralized than it is now. So the cloud is already decentralized. And now we're decentralizing it even more because these edges are machines that can process certain amounts of the data. So maybe they process a lot of the data and then they only send it out to the main data center if they have limitations, that they don't have the latest version of the data, or they're waiting to get the latest version of the data. So the edge machine will communicate with the server, and then but your machine will communicate with the edge machine. And there are layers and layers of this. So that's creating a web, which is what you're looking at with the World Wide Web. That's originally what the World Wide Web kind of was, and we're kind of reinventing that with edge computing. But that edge computing has become more and more popular, and it is going to continue to become more and more popular, especially as you have AI and IoT. And speaking of IoT, that's what I've got as number 5, the rise of IoT, which is Internet of Things. The Internet of Things is another area where the cloud will be having a big impact. Businesses look to use the cloud to connect and manage their IoT devices. So IoT is Internet of Things. That's devices. So when you're thinking about IoT, you're thinking about everything. You're thinking about smart watches. You're thinking about smart light bulbs. You're thinking about smart thermostats, smart cars, smart toilets, smart TVs, smart everything. When you think about the smart devices all over the world, and that's going to continue to expand and grow. There's going to be smart traffic lights. There's going to be smart monitoring of fertilizer and water and sunlight and all those things used for farming. We're going to have tractors that are smart tractors that are going to be managed through IoT. There's all of these different things, and it's just going to continue to expand and expand and expand and expand. And IoT puts a lot of pressure on the server. That's actually probably what we're going to be looking at. IoT and AI combined with edge computing is probably going to be the next big thing that's going to be happening, because you don't want all these little IoT devices to connect directly to the cloud. You want them to go through an edge provider to get some information, and then once it gets all that information, then it'll update the main server a little bit later on. So that's kind of the approach that you're looking for, and that's probably the direction that things are going to be going. So the rise of AI and the rise of IoT is really going to drive edge computing. And that edge computing, of course, that's going to expand cloud computing. And people are going to be having less and less servers, or are they? That's another interesting idea. It might be that people bring their servers back inside and they create their own mini clouds. That's a different topic, but that's definitely something that we're starting to see a little bit of, especially as companies start getting a little bit nervous about who has access to their data, how their data is accessed, and should they be controlling it and governing themselves. So those are some of the trends that you can be looking forward to in cloud computing. It has been great being with you today. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and tell me if you have any cloud computing trends that you're interested in and want to learn about. Until tomorrow, I will see you all later.